Hey there, Cowboys fans. Thank you all so much for clicking on today's video and joining us here at the Dallas Cowboys Report. Now, if you haven't already, I'd like all of you guys to subscribe. The season might be winding down, but the offseason is when we have the most fun here at Chat Sports. So if you haven't already, join the #1 Cowboys YouTube channel out there. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's dive into some Cowboys news with a heavy injury / illness focus as it relates to Chidobe Awuzie. Now, he missed the game against the Cincinnati Bengals due to being placed on the COVID-19 list, not for a positive test, rather because of a close contact. Mike McCarthy said he is expected to return to practice on Wednesday, maybe some even earlier than that. The Cowboys have been decimated at cornerback this year. Awuzie's missed time. Travon Diggs has missed time. Anthony Brown has missed time. In the end, Awuzie, in a contract year, has only been out there for 5 games, and the results in 5 games are okay, not great. Coming back from injury, didn't have his best stuff. Was better earlier in the year before that injury. Had an early interception. The Cowboys had planned in reality for him to be their #1 corner with Travon Diggs at #2, and we haven't seen those guys out there very often together because of various injuries and now an illness for Chido. When he was fully healthy at the beginning of the year, thought he was okay, thought he had a pretty good week 1, and then quickly got hurt. So let me know in the comments section who you think has been the Cowboys' best corner this season. We've seen a lot of different ones out there for Dallas due to various injuries. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, I fully expect most answers to be this one, Travon Diggs, who, by the way, has a chance to return to practice this week. He's been on IR with a foot fracture he suffered against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was placed on IR on November 18th. Now, the Cowboys can bring him off of IR at any point. Once they bring him back to practice, there's a 21-day window to activate him to the 53-man roster once he begins that practice timeline, which, assuming the Cowboys don't make the postseason, which they won't, that window can start at any point because you have about 21 days left in the year with 3 games left to go. Now, Mike McCarthy called this a maybe, so we'll have to wait and see in terms of Diggs actually being out there. The original timeline of his injury kind of made the Niners game the opening of a potential return from that foot fracture. You're not going to make the postseason. But you know what? I do want to see Diggs back out there. Because even if you win out, you have a very limited chance of making the postseason. But playing young guys matters. And Diggs is clearly going to be a part of this Cowboys team for the rest of his rookie contract. And then hopefully, of course, beyond that as well. Diggs has been picked on a lot this year because you're going to throw at the young rookie corner every chance you get in most cases. But he's made some good plays on the football too. So even though, yes, I am on Team Tank, I believe that getting Diggs out there and getting him a reps for a guy who hasn't played a ton of corner in his football career, I do want to see him out there. But you guys get your votes in here, and I'm going to make this the pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. Do you want to play Travon Diggs this season? Type in Y for yes or type in N for no. If you get that ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. Let's talk more injuries in the secondary. Yay! Donovan Wilson, who, by the way, has missed the past 2 weeks with a groin injury. Mike McCarthy also said maybe he'll be able to practice this week. Now, remember, with IR rules this year, you're able to return as soon as 3 weeks after you've missed a game. So that timeline here sets up well for Wilson they think he's going to get back. If he misses 3 weeks, that means the injury was worse than the Cowboys thought it was going to be because they never put him on IR. They thought he'd be able to return within that general 3-game window there. Wilson hasn't made a ton of plays in the passing game. There are no pass breakups, no interceptions this year, but he's got 2.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, a tackle for loss as well. When there has been a play made in the secondary this year, more often than not, it's been made by Donovan Wilson. And much like Travon Diggs, I want to get Wilson out there. He is young. I want to get him more reps. Yes, maybe playing better players hurts the Team Tank philosophy, but if they're young, I want to give them reps. That will matter more to me. Plus, you're probably not going to win that many games anyway. So hopefully Diggs and Wilson can return in the near future and show they can be a potential starter next year, the year that matters for the Cowboys in 2021. Today's show made possible by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code that you guys see on your screen. That is Cowboys125. When you do that, it gets you a 125% deposit bonus, meaning within $100, extra $125 for free. That way, if you get some bets wrong, like I did this past week, you got plenty of extra money left over. So head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys125. More secondary injury notes. That is the common theme on today's Cowboys report. Anthony Brown, who has missed the past 2 weeks with a rib injury. I thought he was going to be able to play last week because he was limited in practice. And normally, when you are limited in practice, that means you're able to play on game day. That was not the case for Anthony Brown. He did not travel. Now, the Cowboys didn't place Anthony Brown on IR because he was already on IR this year. If he goes on IR again, his season is over. He can't return. That is exactly what happened, by the way, with Cam Erving last week for the Cowboys. Brown's mostly played some nickel, but outside as well. He does a little bit of everything there. Hasn't had his best stuff. It's only 7 games there. He's made some plays. He's been better at times, maybe a little more steady than the inconsistent Jordan Lewis. Brown's better in the passing game, but Lewis actually thrived pretty well in run support there. I know most of us type in JL. Both these guys are kind of number 3 corners. I'd love to see Jordan Lewis get some run at safety. Maybe throw him out there, see what he can do. He's a free agent after all. The Cowboys already made their decision. They paid Anthony Brown. Unless Jordan Lewis is borderline vet minimum, not sure he's going to be back. But get your votes in here. Pick a cornerback for me. AB for Anthony Brown or JL for Jordan Lewis. Back to my weekly rant on where the hell is Bradlee Anae. Mike Nolan offered an explanation. Oh, it's a numbers game. They got better players ahead of Anae. That's why he can't play. 6 defensive snaps this year. Guys, this is not hard. Your season is over. It's time to play Bradlee Anae. And I have an answer for you who you can play over him. How about you get Dorrance Armstrong off the field? I'm down to keep playing Alden Smith and Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence as long as you're winning games and competitive. It's time to play Anae, though. Dorrance Armstrong should not be out there. You know why? Because he offers you next to nothing. Is he a fine run support player, can drop into coverage, fits the scheme? Sure, okay. If he's your number 4 edge, you're probably fine. But you know what? Play Bradlee Anae. It is a preseason situation. What the actual results mean do not matter. Dorrance Armstrong brings you nothing in the passing game. All right? 5% pressure rate, 1 pressure in his past 5 games. Come on. I think it's simple. Free Anae. Get him out there. Let him play. And you know what? Almost hot-taking thing I would even do? Your season's over. DeMarcus Lawrence, yeah, the sack stats are down. He's actually been good this year for you, but he's been a bit banged up too. I'm down to even rest DeMarcus Lawrence because you're not going to win anything and give those snaps to Bradlee Anae. Anae's not better than Tank, but I'm not worried about Tank next year. He's fine. He's not your problem on defense. Why not give Anae reps? Find a way to do it. Free Anae. It's long past overdue. Get him out there on the field. Play the young guys in what is already a lost season. Another argument for actually playing young guys is that Mike McCarthy's coming back next year. That's the Cowboys' plan. Maybe things would have been different both from myself and even what the Cowboys said publicly had they lost to a horrible Bengals team. But they won that game. That's a game they were supposed to win. And the season has been a mess. You got a bad defense. You can blame Mike Nolan for that and the players too. Offense was ruined by injuries at quarterback and the offensive line. The honeymoon period is over. But Jerry Jones keeps saying stuff along with Stephen Jones. Here's what Jerry had to say, right? Not one time have I been in any discussion, had any dream, been sitting by myself, have I given a thought to anything but Mike McCarthy being our coach next year and being our coach in the future. How in the hell something like that could get going with a conversation with Steven or anyone else about whether McCarthy is going to be the coach or not is ridiculous. I actually disagree with Jerry. I think it's fine to have the discussion because they're 4-9 this year. They might win 4 or 5 games this season overall. Like, I am happy to at least have the conversation. If the result is, yeah, you know what, we're going to give McCarthy another year because the quarterback got hurt and the offensive line got hurt and everyone got hurt and the defense is just bad overall, I am fine with that being the result. but saying so adamantly that, oh, we never even considered it, who's Jerry trying to convince? Is he trying to convince himself, or are you trying to convince the fans and media out there? I'm down to bring back McCarthy for one more year, but there do need to be some coaching changes, namely on defense, which we've discussed and will discuss here at the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe.